last week, and we thank God for our pastors, amen, having a blessed time by on the Fairfax. Amen. Thank God for them, their encouraging spirit, the word of God, and it's so good to know that we have the power and authority to be able to rebuke the enemy. Amen. 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 Now this is a continuation of what the Lord put on my heart and last week. Amen. And the title of this message is called Family Feud. All right. Amen. All right. Amen. Family Feud. You know, and on last week we talked about David being born in adultery, and it's believed that he was born in adultery on his father's side, and understand that him being able to deal with the situation of having half siblings, and we went over the story of when they had a banquet that was taking place, and it was for a special occasion. They were going to anoint the next king. They're going to anoint the next king. And so Samuel invites his whole family together, everyone, and Samuel tells Jesse to bring his family together for the special occasion. They have all the table is set. Everybody's in their best dressed attire, you know, looking sharp as a tack. You know, everybody's dressed to impress. And Samuel comes and says, he goes through all the children, and then he says, God has not chosen any of these to be the king. Right. So Samuel is looking at Jesse perplexed, and Jesse's looking at Samuel perplexed, and Samuel has to ask him, you know, do you have any more children that you're not telling me about? All right. You know, and sometimes you have that situation, you know, when people have children they're not telling you about. And so he was kept on the back burner, and he was saying, well, he's with the sheep. In other words, it's like saying, you know, everybody's been invited, but we had him watching our dogs. Well, wow, he's not supposed to be here. He's not the one that we talk about. You know, he's not one of my legitimate children, you know, that is called for such a time as this. And what did Samuel say? See, Samuel, because he was the priest at the time, it was, you know, similar to Joe Osteen or Bishop, you know, T.D. Jakes, you know, coming to town, and where thousands of people are around, and everyone is excited to be able to be there. And so the guest, of course, is seated first. And Samuel says, well, we're not sitting down until no other kid shows up right here. And so again, there's no spot at the table, you know, for him. But what they had to do was they had to call him in, and they had to prepare him a table. You know, I'm gonna have Josiah and Joshua and Jaden go and just and prepare a table. You know, just to give you a visual effect of what had to take place. So they're standing, and it comes to find out that the person who wasn't invited to the party was the very guest of honor that everybody was having dinner for. And so here they are just waiting, and so forth, because again, there's no spot for him. So they have to wait. He's not sitting down. He said, nobody's sitting down. The party's not even going to start, you know, until this man comes and arrives. You know, so here they are, you know, standing around. They're talking, and they're wondering, you know, what are we going to do? But they did not like him. You know, that they were upset about this. The Bible said in 1 Samuel chapter 16 that even when he showed up and started talking to somebody that wasn't family, they got mad at him and said, what are you doing here? You're not supposed to be here. So here they are, you know, upset with him, you know, hating on him, and yet while they made themselves his enemy, Samuel says, we're not eating. And I wonder where Samuel sat. I'm sure they probably had a spot for him right next to the eldest son, Eliab, you know, assuming that he was going to be at that table, you know, which was considered the best table. Him and Jesse probably were proud, but they had to go ahead and prepare a table. And since he came over, you know, to David, the Bible said that he came, and in the midst of his brothers, they anointed him. And they anointed him in the midst of his brothers, and anointed him as being the next king. And from then on, God's blessing and favor continued to follow with him. But I want you to know that God's favor had already been with him. Even though it seemed like it was cast out. That was just the acknowledgement of everybody else. I want you to know, even though before people acknowledge you, God's favor and blessing is already with you. It goes before you and it overtakes you as a shield. Amen? So that's why, and we understand that in Psalms 23 and 5, why David said, you prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. He anoints my head with oil and my cup overflows. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Give the Lord a hand praise. Not only that, but I want you to understand that it was highly likely that they were expecting David to die. To understand what it is to really take care of sheep, you have to understand that when you were out there and he was not surrounded by his brothers, but he was the youngest and he was left by himself. All right. It is dangerous in the wilderness. Anything can happen to you. As a matter of fact, it did. A lion came upon him and he had to fight a lion, but God's blessing was with him in the wilderness. Not only did he have to fight a lion, but he also had to fight a bear. Amen. Now, to understand this, if your youngest kid had to fight off a lion, don't you think it would have changed something? I mean, I've had, grandchildren, grandparents, watch their grandkid, and you hope for the best, and you thank God that they do an excellent job and so forth. And you might have your kid in different environments at different times and so forth, but to come to find out your youngest child had to fight a lion. As a good parent, you would have changed something. I'm not going to send you back out there to fight another lion. And then you're going to have some protection with you. You're going to have protection with you. And you see a contrast because Jacob, who loved Joseph, amen, who was also born, by a different mother than his brothers, but he loved him. So he didn't have him out in the wilderness. He had all his brothers together, and they were watching the sheep in the wilderness because it was a dangerous job. But David said, I have defeated the lion, and I've defeated the bear, and I'm not afraid of anything. For in Psalm 27, the Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the strength of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? When my enemies camp around me, they stumble and they fail. Amen. Hallelujah. He doesn't know. Behold, one thing I desire of God, to behold the beauty of the Lord and to inquire in his tabernacle. Give the Lord a hand praise. Now, also we understand that Joseph was born in the same situation where he did not have the same mother as his brothers. And so that was one reason that they had animosity towards him, is because he was, the brother of another mother. And it wasn't a blessing for them. They were upset about that, and how he was treated. And so they were kicking him to the curb so much that when he was out there and they saw him coming, they said, you know what, we're going to kill this man. Well, when he gets here, we're going to kill him. He did have an older brother who was, Reuben, who said, you know what, we can't kill our brother. Thank God that you have, that sometimes you got remnants, amen, in the family. And they say, come on, y'all. And you can't treat him like that. You got some family members that will stick up for you. Amen, and that will be there to bless. And say, you can't do that. Amen, that's just evil. That's just evil. Thank God, amen, for Reuben, who came in and stepped in and said, at least let's just hide him in the pit and sell the boy. And we'll get rid of him a different way. But he was trying to return him back to his father secretly. But he was afraid of his siblings as well. But when they brought
the coat. They stripped him of his coat, threw him in the pit, and dipped him in blood, and then they brought it to their father. Their father said, "This is his coat." And he immediately believed that his son was killed. Because again, it was easy to be killed by wild animals out there in the wilderness. And even though that area, there's some animals that have been, extinct and that have moved from various locations. At the time, you can tell the Sphinx and so forth in Egypt and so forth. It has the body, of a lion. And so you can see different things that are symbolic of what was there in the area. Yes. Amen? Yes. So we can see how God's hedge of protection was around David. You see how God's hedge of protection was around Joseph, because when they sold him, it may have seemed like rejection of him. However, God was actually removing him from a toxic environment around his own family. Sometimes you may think getting rejected is a bad thing, but all you're doing is getting removed from the very toxic environment that you don't need to be around anyway. And you want to be in the crowd, but you don't need to be in the crowd. So you need to don't be upset about the rejection. You better thank God, amen, that you're not in the crowd, amen, and you're getting stabbed in the back, and you ain't going to feel it where you at. You getting protected, amen. I love what my daddy James said. He said sometimes a family will treat you like an enemy and treat you like a stranger. Yes. And strangers will treat you like family.
Yes. Say that. Say it.
So when they thought and that they were getting rid of him and rejecting him, God was protecting him. Yes. Even some counselors will tell you that there's some family members that you don't need to be around.
Say that.
Hallelujah. A no dad is better than a bad dad.
Yes, it is.
Hallelujah. Amen. Sometimes you can be thanking God. Amen. If the man wasn't in your life. Yes. Hallelujah. Amen. And now, in my case, I thank God for my father. Amen. I knew my father all my life, and I thank God for him. But there's some other dads out there. Amen. That people should be glad that are not in their life. Amen. As a matter of fact, we went over, the series of When They See Us. And you had Antron McCray, who he said, even to this day, father's dead and gone, he said that I hate my dad. Right. Some of that hate is because when he was in the police office, he was not going to lie. And he was not going to testify about some lie about raping someone. Right. But his dad showed up and convinced him that he needed to lie with the police. And he ended up doing, about 7 years in prison because of the lie that he told. However, had his dad not even showed up, he felt he would have never told the lie and been convinced. Yes. But in that situation, because his dad came in and convinced him that he needed to lie, he gave in, and that was the animosity that he held.
Yes.
We've got to be able to still forgive our parents in the midst of whatever situation they do. There's no such thing as a perfect family, no such thing as a perfect mother, no such thing as a perfect father. Amen. The only perfect one is God, amen, above. And when you give yourself to him, and he's the only one, and we need forgiveness from him. Give the Lord a hand praise. So it was important to understand the rejection that took place over Joseph. It was all in God's plan. Amen. And God was protecting him and keeping him, and God will protect and he will keep you. Amen.
Amen.
And so another person who went through a similar situation, sometimes we don't think about, but Jesus was in the midst of a family.
All right.
And they did not have the same father.
All right.
Him and his brothers, had a different dad.
All right.
And he was not always received well because of that.
All right.
Amen? The Bible said in Matthew in 13, it also said in Luke chapter 2, and in John chapter 7, it says that his brothers didn't believe in him. His brothers, they did not believe in him. Jesus said, a prophet is without honor in his own hometown.
Amen.
Amen?
Amen.
Luke chapter 2. I want to talk about a little bit about his upbringing. And let's see what happened in Luke chapter 2, verse 41. In this situation, they traveled together and they had big families and so forth, and they went as groups. In verse 41, it says, now his parents went to Jerusalem every year at the feast of the Passover. And when they became 12, they went up there. When he became 12, they went up there according to the custom of the feast. And as they were returning, after spending the full number of days, the boy Jesus stayed behind in Jerusalem, but his parents were unaware of it. But supposed to be in a caravan, and when a day's journey, they began looking for him among their relatives and acquaintances. When they did not find him, they returned to Jerusalem looking for him. Then after 3 days, somebody say 3 days.
3 days.
Amen. My mother might have left me at the shopping mart for, a few hours or so forth, and a moment it turned around before. But I ain't never been left behind for 3 days. My God in heaven. And 3 days they found the man. And it seems like somebody in his family would have said, Jesus is not with us. Where is Jesus at? You think somebody would have asked about him. Amen. But sometimes your family won't even ask about you. Amen. Sometimes friends and stuff will not ask about you. Amen. They're not wondering or worried about you, but I thank God that God has your back. Amen. And God is concerned about you, regardless of who else you think is not concerned about you. Amen. Turn your name and say, be encouraged. God is concerned about you.
God is concerned about you.
And so now he goes on to say, in verse 46, then after 3 days they found him in the temple, sitting in the midst of the teachers, both listening to them and asking them questions. And all who heard him were amazed at his understanding and his answers. When they saw him, they were astonished. His mother said to him, son, why have you treated us this way? Behold, your father and I have been anxiously looking for you. And he said to them, why is it that you were looking for me? Did you not know that I had to be in my father's house? Another translation said I had to be about my father's business. Amen. Amen. I was spending time with my dad. Amen. I was spending time with my biological father. Amen. Sometimes you go from home to home. Amen. And you spend time with your biological father. Amen. He said this was the time, amen, that I needed to be with him. Amen. Amen. We thank God for those blessed times and those times that we have with family. Jesus knows what it was like. And even after that time, after that weekend, amen, with his biological dad. Amen. Then the Bible says that he understood it and he went home, amen, to be and went with the family that he grew up with. Amen. Mother and the stepdad. So we need to understand what it was like for Jesus, but we need to know that when you are connected with God the Father, yes, amen, there is critical time that you also need to understand that you are in the same family that Jesus was in. And there has to be some personal time, yes, that is spent with God the, yes, Father, and that you have to go with him. You've got to spend time with God the Father. People talk about blood is thicker than water. Well, Jesus' blood is the thickest that you can get. You better get the blood of Jesus in your veins and know that you are in his family, regardless of who in your family don't like you. That's right. Amen. Hallelujah. Thank God. I don't know about you, ever been left anywhere. Amen. You ever felt like you haven't been thought about? Sometimes it's on purpose, and where people don't invite you, and sometimes it's on accident. because the reality is they were not thinking about you. Right? It just is what it is. And sometimes they will tell you, oh, I forgot. Now, it don't feel any better. Amen, that they forgot about you. Like, oh, you just forgot about me. You didn't reject me on purpose. I just wasn't on your mind. Man, that's why I wasn't invited. Amen. I'm so glad that the Bible says that God says the very hairs on your head are numbered. Amen. A hair doesn't fall out of your head without me noticing it. Amen. I know how many grays are popping up. You can dye it the best way you can. Amen. But I know how many you got. Amen. In your head, in your beard, in your mustache. Hallelujah. Amen. And the very hairs on your head are numbered. God is that interested in you. Amen. God is that personal with you. And God deals with you on a different level. Amen. Give the Lord a hand praise. Now, it's so important that in the midst of those situations that you stay in faith and you stay in love. Turn your neighbor and say, stay in faith.
Stay in faith.
And stay in love.
Stay in love.
Turn your neighbor again and say, stay in faith.
Stay in faith.
Stay in love.
Stay in love.
And then sometimes we know we bind and rebuke every backlashing and retaliatory spirit. That's not just for other people not to retaliate against you. That's for you not to retaliate against other people. And then so when you say, I bind and rebuke every backlashing and retaliatory spirit, that means even when they did you wrong, and when you're not returning back the wrong that they did for you, but you are forgiving them, and you are releasing them for whatever they did to you. I'm going to love you anyway, and I'm going to call you anyway, and then I'm coming to see you anyway, and then I love you regardless of what you do. You can't change my love for you because I can change God's love for me. Amen. Give the Lord a hand praise. Hallelujah. Amen. It's amazing, amen, to understand what we go through, amen, in life. And I guarantee God knows that you're going through something. Amen. God knows the struggle. And as long as you be on this life, there's going to be adversity that comes your way. But God wants to let you know that you already have the victory. And you already have, amen, God on your side. You already won the battle. You know, everybody was wondering about the NBA, you know, where Kawhi Leonard was going to go. And, you know, it seemed like the LA Clippers, you know, was the stepchild. It seemed like that they don't have their own arena. You know, the LA Clippers versus the Los Angeles Lakers. And the LA Clippers, even though they're an NBA basketball team, the gym that they have to use is the LA Lakers gym. So when they come into the LA Lakers and they see Magic Johnson and they see Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, you know, and they see Kobe, you know, they see all these championships that the Lakers got. There's not a banner of them. There's not a picture of them anywhere around in that place. And remember, this is supposed to be their home court. And but it don't look like home to them. You know? Hallelujah. And it may not be a picture of you. And then in certain places, but God got you all worked out. And then He got you on His side. Hallelujah. And sure enough, Kawhi Leonard brought himself over to the LA Clippers. And I guarantee one day they're going to have their own arena. But I want you to know God is looking out for you. And they want to talk about, you know, creating a super team. I want you to know that when you are on God's side, you are on the super team. And then you got the victory. You know who's going to win the championship. And then when you got God on your side, there's nothing that you have to worry about. You don't have to worry about your other teammates. God is going to put people around you who love you. Amen. Around you. Amen. Who encourage you. Around you who build you up. Amen. And you will be built up. And at the same time, David even said, sometimes I will encourage myself. Amen. If nobody around you will encourage you, He needs somebody on the inside of you to encourage you. The Holy Spirit is on the inside of you. He said, I don't even have to look on the outside to find somebody. I'm on the inside of you. And then the Holy Spirit is in me. And in Christ in you, the hope of glory. And then He speaks to you. The Holy Spirit is a wonderful counselor. Hallelujah. Amen. He's the best counselor that you can ever have. Amen. The family counselor. Amen. He's the lawyer. Amen. That you're looking for in the courtroom. Amen. He's the doctor. Amen. That will give you the proper diagnosis. He said, by your if you meditate on his word day and night, amen, he will make your way prosperous and give you good success. He's your financial advisor. Amen. He gives you financial counseling. Hallelujah. Amen. He's your marriage counselor. He will give you relationship counseling. Hallelujah. Amen. He's your lawyer. Amen. He's your doctor, your therapist. He's your best friend. Hallelujah. Amen. He'll be all that and a bag of chips. But you got to spend time with him because he's ready, willing, and waiting on you. Amen. Y'all was waiting on Kawhi, but God is waiting on you. Amen. And when you come into your place in alignment, amen, your whole team going to get to hook up. Give the Lord a hand, please. Give the Lord a hand, please. Give the Lord a hand, please. Give somebody a high five and tell them I'm on the right team. Hallelujah. I'm on the right team. Hallelujah. I'm on the right team. Glory to God. Glory to God in the highest. Come on, somebody. Thank you, Lord God. Because let me tell you how the story is. Everybody's saying, let me tell you how the story is. Because it wasn't so long. You know, if you look in your Bible and you go into 1 Samuel and 22, I don't have time to turn there, but you can read it on your own time. David was in the cave of Adultery, and people were looking for him. And don't you know, his brothers that had rejected him previously, they came to him, and they were by his side. And he told the king, look, as the lady, I want you to look after my family. I want you to look after my mother. I want you to look after my father. Amen. Regardless of how he was treated. Amen. He took care of his mother. He took care of his father when the time came. You better take care of your parents. Amen. You better take care of your grandparents. Amen. I thank God, Pastor Yolanda. It didn't matter what had been done to her. It didn't matter what had been said to her. Amen. She said, I'm going to be there for my mother. I'm not going to teach you how you treat me. I know you're trying to disrespect me, but I'm going to be there for you. Amen. Until the very dying time on her deathbed. Amen. I'm going to honor you. Honor your father and your mother. That your days can be long upon the earth. Amen. Joseph. And remember the brothers that had rejected him and tried to kill him. As soon as they came in, amen, he told them, you know what, I'm going to forgive you. Amen. And I'll release you of everything. You may have meant it for my evil, but God has meant it for my good. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. God turned that very thing around to that family that rejected him was the family that received him and was blessed by him, and he was blessed to be a blessing. God will bless you to be a blessing to your family. Amen. Your family will get saved because of you. Amen. Your family will get delivered because of you. Your family will get healed because of you. Amen. Because you are the catalyst, amen, that God has called to show love. You got to stay in love, and you got to stay in faith. You got to stay in love, and you got to stay in faith. And even though the Bible says in John chapter 7 that Jesus' brothers did not believe in him. Don't you know his brother James is the very one that wrote the book of James. And he ended up bringing his family to Christ. And he was pronouncing Jesus as being Lord. He became a pastor. He became a bishop. All because Jesus stayed in love and stayed in faith. And when you look at Mark chapter 6, he came there, and the Bible says that in Mark chapter 5, you see the woman with the issue of blood, and who he healed. She believed in him and touched the hem of his garment and was healed after 12 years of suffering. And don't you know, in the same chapter, Jairus' daughter was healed and raised from the dead after wait, where all the family was around, dying and crying, you know, over what had happened. They were there for the wait. You know, singing the sad song, you know, going back to yonder, you know, and when we get there one day, and Jesus came in and said, no, she's not dead, she's just sleeping. They laughed at him, and he had to kick the family out of the womb, and all he brought in was just a few. All you need is a few. Hallelujah! Hallelujah, Lord. All you need is a few believers. Amen. He just left good, he get everybody else out. Amen. I don't want you. Amen. People seem like they're trying to get everybody into their church. You don't want everybody in your church. Hallelujah. You don't want everybody in your atmosphere. He put them out. Amen. Said, now we're about to pray. Amen. When we got the right atmosphere set. And she got healed and delivered. And that was in Mark chapter 5. And the very next chapter, Mark chapter 6, it said that they said, who is this? Isn't this, you know, the mother of Mary? And the reason they called him the mother of Mary is because they knew that Joseph wasn't his biological father. And they did not believe that God was his biological father. only that. The Bible said that he cannot do many miracles. Why was it? He cannot, because of their unbelief. He can only heal a few sickly folk. Amen. Who just had some minor illnesses because of their unbelief. Amen. But as you realize that was in Mark chapter 6. But when you go on, you realize when he was in other places, like Capernaum, the Bible says he healed them all. Amen. When you believe in Jesus, amen, God will heal every one of your sicknesses and diseases, and God will work something out on your own behalf. And at the end of the book, you realize he brought his family to Christ, and James became a bishop, and James is the one who said that if you believe, amen, and if you confess your faults one to another and pray for one another, you will be healed. The elders of the church, amen, will anoint your head with oil, and the prayer of faith will raise him up. Amen. So now, James is a believer, and he's speaking to us, telling that if we believe in the same Jesus, amen, that he initially rejected, we will have that same healing. Give the Lord a hand praise. You can move the table. Thank you, Father. Thank you, Father. Lord God, let us pray. Father, I thank you for everyone, Lord God, who has you under the sound of their voice. I thank you for covering us. I thank you for keeping us, ordering our steps in your word. I thank you, Father, for regardless of what family we come from, Lord God, the Lord is blessing us. You are keeping us. You will raise us up. According to Psalm 27, 10, it says, though my mother and father forsake me, the Lord will raise me up. And it does not matter your beginning. It does not matter where you started from. Only thing that matters is, Lord God, your ending, whether you are staying in love and staying in faith. And Lord God, I pray that we would stay in love. We would stay in faith. We would live for you, Father. We would live for your righteousness. We would live for your glory. Lord God, to God be the glory. Thank God for my family. Thank God for my upbringing. Amen. Thank God for, amen, your upbringing. Amen. Thank God, amen, that you are here today. Amen. Because God has blessed you and called you for such a time as this. And God has helped you and kept you. He may not have done everything wrong, everything that happened to you, but he kept you in the midst of everything that happened to you. And we give you glory. We give you praise and honor that we are going on. We are blessed in the city and we are blessed in the field. We're blessed coming in and we're blessed going out. We are blessed to be a blessing. Amen. Give the Lord a hand praise. In Jesus' name.
Thank you, Lord. Hallelujah. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord.
Thank you, Father.
Thank you.
Amen. If any man wants prayer, amen, or anyone wants prayer, we will pray for you. We thank God, amen, for who you are.